Hey guys, it's Chrissy and today I'm going to review the book Pearl, written by Deirdre Riordan Hall. Hope you enjoy! So before I start with this review, I want to say a huge thank you to the author for sending me this beautiful hardback copy of her book and all the book swag that she sent with it. It was a really sweet package and it was, thank you. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. Okay, let's get right into it. This book, oh my goodness, this book stayed with me for days after I read it. I had a major book hangover over this book. So lately I've been reading a whole lot of romance, a lot of erotica romance, and this was a nice change of pace from all of that. This is a young adult book. And it does kind of seem similar to Paper Princess and Broken Prince. Obviously there's, big differences. It isn't the same book, but it does kind of have that feel. I do see how fans of Paper Princess and Broken Prince might enjoy this book. There isn't any graphic sex in it. There isn't anything. I really think I need to warn you. There's drug use through the book, so maybe if that's a trigger, that would be the only thing. Now, this book follows a girl named Pearl, and she has a mother that is a drug addict. Her mother was a rocker in the 90s, and she was very popular in a popular band, but in current day, the band is has-beens. Nobody listens to that band's music anymore. She gets a very small amount of money in royalties, and she is barely scraping by. Well, she isn't scraping by. She's really not taking care of herself, and she sure as heck isn't taking care of her little girl named Pearl. Pearl is a tough girl. She has been raised in horrible conditions, but she seems to still have light in her life, and she loves art. She has an idol that is an artist, and I believe it's a fashion artist. I'm not sure. But she's really big into fashion. She has this one dress of her mother's that her mother, I believe, wore to the Grammys, and that is her prized possession, her only prized possession. I mean, they bounce from house to house to house, from boyfriend to boyfriend, the mother, not Pearl, just trying to survive the streets of New York. Something happens with Pearl and her mother, and Pearl is sent to a preparatory school by her uncle. Her uncle is wealthy and has all but given up on his sister. The only reason he's bailing her out now is because he's a political hopeful and he's trying to clean up the mess before it comes back on him, basically. He really doesn't care anything about Pearl. He has no love for her. His wife has no love for her. Her cousins, her one cousin does seem to care about her a little, but Pearl's really alone in the world. She is so desperately alone, and it's so sad. There are chapter after chapter that you read that you're just heartbroken for this girl, and also in awe of the way she has really survived this kind of harsh upbringing. So when Pearl arrives at this boarding school, she is assigned a roommate, and the roommate is a very meek and shy girl, but very sweet and very smart. She's very into her academics. Her parents are really on her to keep her grades up and keep her nose in the books, and she's a really straight-laced girl. And Pearl really likes her, and they hit it off. Then there's this other girl named Sorrel who Pearl befriends, and she's the wild child. She reminds Pearl a lot of her mother and her wild ways, and she kind of gravitates to her in the beginning of the book. She's the most like her in the entire school. So they form a quick friendship. And Sorrel has a boyfriend named Pepper, and then there's another boy named Grant, and that's going to be our book boyfriend for this read. Grant is a Scottish boy who does not have an accent because his father wants him completely Americanized. That's why he's at a boarding school in America. All of these kids have, a bone to pick with the world. They have all kinds of teenage angst, and the four of them really form a group, and really stick together. So Pearl has this one friend that is totally straight-laced and the goody two-shoes. And then she has this other friend that's like the little devil on her shoulder telling her all the naughty things she could do and get away with. So it's that struggle through this book of Pearl either following the path that her mother set before her or following a new path and making her own destiny. This book was heavy. This was a heavier read than I have read in a long time, and it was good. This was a good book. I totally recommend this book to all of my friends. I was blown away at how many feelings I had while reading this book. I had to put it down, not because I was bored or I didn't want to read it anymore. I needed to stop and process what I had read before I could go on. It made you think. This was a thinking book, but it's also very entertaining, and there is a love story for you to follow. I really enjoyed Grant and Pearl's love story. They were so sweet, and the angst is not the nail-biting angst. It's more of a deep angst, I guess. It's hard for me to explain. It isn't shallow. It's a deep kind of angst, and what these kids have gone through and go through with this book is really heavy. So I give Pearl 5 out of 5 Krissy stars. This is a must read. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And you can find me at KrissysMakeupNote.com or KrissysBookNote.com. See you next time. Mwah!
Shall we begin?
It's Krissy, and today I'm going to review the book Pearl, written by Deirdre.
Let's begin.
It's upside down. No. My hair in my face. Hold on, let me put this in. And she is a washed up, I guess that's, I mean, that's the only word I can think of. But that band went, okay. Now when Pearl arrives at Laurel Hill,
Let's begin.
a little side note, I wanted to thank my husband for helping me transform this old dresser into my brand new bookcase. Thank you, hubby. I love you. Mwah.